match day 4 of the Premier League, the ups and down. What is happening right now is just absolutely massive games that we all think it was just beautiful. Manchester United won their game against Southampton, and Arne Slot was welcome to the Premier League. Hey, guess what team welcomed him? It was Nottingham Forest. Chelsea got away 3 points for sure. And hey, Arsenal. I don't know what is happening to Tottenham. Tottenham are the most unserious big club in Premier League I've ever seen. With all the injury and the ban, they still go ahead to lose the game against Arsenal in their own home, Tottenham Sports Stadium. That's it, it bust my mind. I don't know. But hey, Erling Haaland will not stop scoring. And City, once again, bang it. The only team that is still holding 4 matches, 4 wins, and 12 points on top of the league table. What's up, guys? If you just joined us and you are new, remember to hit on the subscription button, like and share the video. Today, I'm with Sami, Eddie, and also Kay. Kay, welcome on board, Charlie.
Thank you, Ashi.
Eddie, what's up? Are you not happy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Rashford,
I'm good.
Marcus Rashford scored, so you should be happy.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, Sami, Barcelona. I see the smile. Barcelona is
They are
trashing more
unstoppable
goals.
now.
Yeah. So, Sami, to start with
They
you,
are averaging 4 goals a game.
we know this derby was absolutely massive derby. We talked about it. We talked about Arsenal going in to win that game. I was probably thinking, yeah, it's a derby, so both teams should be able to get goal in. But then at the end of the day, it's still Tottenham. I just don't understand. They play all the games, they have all the possession, but at the end of the day, the winning mentality is still not there in the team. And Arsenal have shown their quality. They show that they are still ready to go on to battle for the league after a disappointment performance last game.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, Arsenal was able to get the 3 points they needed. They don't care the style they used, though they had to suffer a bit. And it's normal for Arsenal to suffer because losing a player like Martin Odegaard is a big blow because he is the glue to the team. So without him, I don't think Arsenal were looking forward to create a lot of chances. But even with that notwithstanding, they were able to suffer good and at the end of the day get their 3 points. It's a shame for the Tottenham fans. It's a shame for the Tottenham team. And we all heard what Koklu said the last time. He said that the Tottenham team, they lack that motivation of winning. They don't have it. It's like it's a mere team that they are not used to winning. So it's normal. It's normal. For me, I think it's normal. And they are going to continue like this until they change that mentality.
Dominic Solanke is the record signing player for Tottenham, but today we still do not see him in the game. Do you think Arsenal are too perfect? Because the midfielder Declan Rice was having a ban in the he had a red card in the previous game and
For
could
the
not
red
actually
card.
participate.
Mm.
But yet they still go ahead to win it.
Thank you, Ashley. I think the match I watched the match and it was very good match. Arsenal had a game plan. They knew that they are without their top players. So they had this game plan to defend and catch Tottenham on the break, and it worked to perfection. I think Tottenham Hotspur were suffering in the final third because Arsenal didn't really allow them to have that sort of triangle plays that they normally do. So I think we should give credit to Arteta. He reverted to his old 3-year self and then mounted this drop back counter play, and it worked to perfection.
Eddie,
Yep.
you could see like the forwarders didn't get the goal for Arsenal, the midfielders didn't get the goal for Arsenal, but then a defender, Gabriel, actually went ahead to have a wonderful header at the back of the net, and that gave Arsenal that valuable 3 point. Were you expecting that?
All right. Sometimes games like this, it's a derby, so we are expecting where everybody was expecting the top-notch performance from from the players in general. So sometimes if the strikers or the midfielders are lacking the goals, someone has to step up in the game to give us the winning goal, and we saw that from Gabriel. That was awesome. That was what we were all expecting. As I said before, it's a derby, so I think he step up to give Arsenal the winning points they deserve. So that's what Arsenal fans should be. Should be.
Tottenham need to go back to the drawing board actually to work a lot because from the first game, I knew they were not ready. But then they showed in the second game that they were probably ready to go ahead. But today too shows the lack of consistency in the team. But then Manchester United, after all the brouhaha, the stories, the against whatever, and then they came back. Southampton 3 goals to 0 away from home. Well, I was expecting United to win that game. It's not a surprise to me. But then something happened in the game. See, what really happened in the game?
What do you think happened? Yeah, in the first 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, I think United we got lucky. That
Mhm.
Onana was able to save the penalty. It was a stone cold penalty, and we got lucky, and we pick it up from there. And you could see that we played a good football. This has been the criticism of Ten Hag. People always say that Ten Hag doesn't have a brand or a style of playing. But look at Ten Hag from Ajax. They were very, very good on the ball. But I always say that we should give this coach the chance to gel with the team, to bring in players that he think that it will be good or suit his style of play. And yesterday, I could see a glimpse of his style, how he wants to play football. And he did that to perfection. And beating Southampton 3-0, a team like Manchester United, we shouldn't be so excited. But then, looking at where we have fallen, how we have fallen, our past 2 games or 3 games, and the results that we've been getting, I think we should be very happy that we got a 3 goals and a 3 point.
Eddie, at the point of the game, were you able to have some fears in the game? Because I found out that a lot of your defenders were actually got injured and they were going out of the game. But then the lead actually gets a goal in the game. And Marcus Rashford as well, during the international break, he actually worked very hard and it's like it's paying off. Do you think it's a turning point for him as well?
As Manchester United fans, we will say, yeah, we are expecting this to be a turning point. This is just a first game after the international break, and we won't say anything much about it. But we hope and hoping that everything will probably continue just like this. Yeah, and talking about the defenders, one thing that boosts the morale of the players was when Onana was able to save the penalty. It gave them like a morale that we can do it. Since we didn't concede first, they had the morale that probably we can probably get the job done. Because if you are down by a goal, it becomes an extra burden. So that was one thing, boost the morale of the players, and I think we got the 3 points we were expecting. And
They were expecting the 3 points before the match, and it really did happen. So for me, I didn't see United as they thought United was brilliant on that day. I don't know
Uh,
about you, as a neutral point of view.
yeah, so from a neutral stand, I think United scoring Southampton is not so exciting. But on the other hand, too, it is a motivation for them. You gain confidence by scoring these lesser teams bit by bit, then you get there. Two players I want to point out, that is the likes of Onana. Onana, for the first time, was very brilliant. And you could see that he was serious in the goalpost. And also that of Marcus Rashford. After Cristiano Ronaldo had an interview, he made mention of the likes of the assistant coach, who is a former player in the name of Ruvan Nistelrooy, who is taking care of the forward line. That's why we saw Rashford able to score a goal. And I think if you incorporate this kind of old players who have played in the team, who knows the team, it also helps the team in a very different way. I think United scoring in Southampton is nothing to talk about, but just these two players. I think hopefully if United meets a tougher team, that's when I'll be able to say something about Ten Hag. But for me, it was a good game.
It was a good game. After all, Southampton is already crippling, and United was trying to demolish everything because they haven't actually won a single game in the Premier League for sure. So it's not something of a big deal, but then it's still a very valuable point that will motivate United and the players moving ahead. But then, just Bournemouth at home was absolutely massive. They actually showed that you can go to Bournemouth and get that 3 points away there. Chelsea currently, we are different Chelsea from last season because people are saying it wasn't a convincing win. It wasn't what and what. But at the end of the day, Jadon Sancho, Manchester United, they are actually crying. Jadon Sancho coming in 45 minutes, getting an assist in the game and also winning man of the match. That 25 million probably is worth of paying. Yes, I mean, what do you think about that game?
Yeah, so straight to the point, I think Chelsea was terrible. It's one of the terrible performances I've seen from Chelsea. And Chelsea on the other day was
Too
lucky to
pragmatic.
get the win. And I think the coach will need to step up, especially playing against a team who plays a bit low blocks. You need a good tactics. You need speed in the game. You need aggression. And Chelsea do not show that. But one thing I'll give to Chelsea is that Chelsea also was able to fight well till the end. And that is what I always mention, that if you have a team that you want to win something this season, you need to suffer. And at the end of the day, any opportunity can come. That's what we saw from the likes of Sancho and Nkuku putting the ball into the net. So at the end of the day, if you sit down and look at the tactical play from Chelsea, it was very poor. Seeing a lot of changes being done, but then still, I know that Enzo Maresca will go to his board and do what he's capable of doing. I know he can form this Chelsea well, and having this 3 points is enough to show the boys that, hey, sometimes we need to fight dirty a bit. We need to suffer a bit. But in the usual day, I think the game was okay for Chelsea.
Even though Chelsea was suffering in the first half of the game. But the coach clearly said that it was part of the game plan because they knew very well that they were not going to get it very easy in Bournemouth Stadium. So the changes that he made, he said he went for Jadon Sancho because Jadon Sancho is very good on 1v1 situations. And when he came on, he actually did show glimpses of what he's capable of doing. Do you think the coach was right? And what's your own opinion on the game as well?
This is a little bit tough. You know what? Sometimes coaches play mind game that if you don't take care, you wouldn't understand. Praising Bournemouth doesn't mean that Bournemouth is actually good. He was trying to psych the whole press to avoid criticism. That's how I understand it. Because it was part of your game plan to do what? To suffer, to play this sort of awful football. No. He was trying to psych the press to not go hard on him. And Jadon Sancho getting the man of the match award, I don't think it was down to his performance alone. It was the whole saga surrounding him. So actually they wanted to do something to prove to a foreigner in the shape of Ten Hag to say that, hey, he's one of our own, and if you don't treat him well, he still can play football. That's how I.
This one, I'm not going to agree with that. Jadon Sancho actually did very well after coming 45. I'm not going to
Yeah,
agree with that.
yeah, but it
Because we
wasn't.
all know.
No, it wasn't the man of the match award I'm talking about. It wasn't only down to his performance. It was the whole saga surrounding him. Look, he's English player, and we know how they treat these English boys. You understand? So no, it's my opinion. That is how I'm seeing the whole thing. Yeah,
Against
We
it's
know
not
against
against.
a
It's
player.
being an objective.
I get the personal.
Yeah. Okay, we are listening. Let's go. Are you done?
Yeah, you said I'm doing
Okay.
against.
So no, I said you can continue.
Yeah, as
Okay.
Yeah, as I told you the last time, I think Chelsea have those sort of players to play good football. I don't know why the coach is holding back. Look at your midfield. You have a lot of good midfielders, even than Liverpool and Manchester City. You people
Mhm.
have a lot of midfielders, and not
Yeah.
only midfielders, but good quality midfielders that can actually play good football. They can actually match any elite midfielder in the world. You understand? So I think some of these are the sort of mind games that they play. Like we don't have that fitness, we don't have this, we don't have this. But it's about time they stop that excuses and put in performances that we all can appreciate and we all can watch football and say, okay, this is a modern day football. This is actually a good football to watch.
Eddie, your own point of view on that game.
Mm, All right. So before the game, I was thinking Chelsea were going to have to take the game easily, you know, but things didn't work out that way because we also the performance of Bournemouth. They were able to win against Everton. That was before the international break, three from 2 goals down to win the game by 3 goals to 2. So and now they also gave us the tough time. That so I think we should watch out for Bournemouth in I think this season. Although Chelsea, has been like a roller coaster on and off, on and off, on and off. But I think they got the 3 points. So let's see what happens in I think in game week 5.
Yeah. Okay.
You were saying that Bournemouth is struggling, so it was expected for us to beat them comfortably. And I want to say
No,
that
I said Southampton.
you are
Southampton.
undermining the
Southampton.
credibility and the
Southampton.
toughness of the Premier League if you say that. Southampton. If you say that, you are undermining the credibility and the toughness of the Premier League. Why do I say this? When I think it was Ferguson's last 2 seasons before he left, Manchester City won the Premier League by beating QPR, who was going on in relegation. At the die minute that Aguero had that goal to help them win the league. So if you say Southampton kind of results was expected, I think you are being disingenuous to the league itself.
I also
Yeah,
want to say
I
something.
expected it coming.
I want to say something too. I think Kay is trying to praise what United did, but we will not accept it. Scoring Southampton is no news. As a club for
The ball,
a club as United, a club as United,
the
being
Bournemouth you are even referring to.
taking points from Southampton.
Even the Bournemouth you are actually talking about. Bournemouth haven't, this is their first loss in Premier League. Since for the 4 games they've played. Chelsea was their first loss there. So we know where
It
we were
still
going. We
it
know
still
what.
doesn't change the fact that you people have the quality to dismantle
So
any club in the Premier League. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know
yeah, the
You have
quality
the
is there.
quality, you have the
if we are
players.
all watching the same EPL. That Kay is watching because I'm confused now. Hey, they have numbers, they don't have the quality. They have the numbers, not the quality. They have the numbers, not the quality. They are still refining,
No,
they are still coming.
yes, it's true. They are getting the team chemistry and the way that they can play just to gel up and something of that sort. Fine, it's true, it's there. But I'm talking about individual players. You understand? If you single out Chelsea's players, you cannot say they are not good enough. They are very good. Just like England going to the World Cup or European Championship. Every player is very good until they all come together to play as a team. That there you could see that they don't have a team. Chelsea have individual players. They don't have a team yet. That's what I was saying.
Okay, so Eddie, Manchester City was absolutely massive. Another Haaland 2 goals in the 4 Premier League. Now in the Premier League for sure. Now 4 games, 9 goals overall for Erling Haaland. What do you think about him and the Golden Boot and also the per game? What do you think about it?
All right, so I think we did mention of and we spoke of Erling Haaland in our previous video. Since he came to the Premier League, I think he has given us the clue that every season he's going to be a contender for the Golden Boot. And this we've just gone like 4 games and having I think 9 goals plus. I think now 9 goals. It's massive. It's massive. And City on the top of the league. I think they are doing what they are showing us what they are capable of doing. For the I think past 3 seasons it has been City. So yeah, it is what it
It is what it is. Sammy, and his lot, he has been welcomed by Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, the fourth
fellow investors
match of the Premier League.
What a lovely weekend for me.
Well, what do you think about that game?
I get emotional trying to talk about that game because fellow investors will understand what this game did to us. But then on the other side, you should know that playing the Premier League, you should not undermine any team.
Yeah.
That is one thing. When you get form and you're going, you should make use of your opportunities. Go straight, kill the game, and you are done. We could see that Nottingham Forest came with a game plan.
Yeah.
And though they were seen as the underdogs because they are playing at Anfield, when the
Yeah.
opportunity came, they slotted the ball in the net, and that was all. The game was done.
Oh,
We saw how Liverpool tried and tried and tried. And if you remember, that is one of the reasons that it worried Liverpool last season. Missing a lot of chances, not taking the game to the opponent. And I'm sure, of course, it's just one game. So Slot will talk to the guys and they will see. But if it's going to continue like this, I think Liverpool will have a lot to pay. And right now that City have started going, if you want to contend with City, make sure that by any means possible, win your games and win, because we don't want City. Me as a Barca fan, I love City a lot. But if City wins this league for the 5th time, I think we should close down EPL.
Yeah, actually, Nottingham Forest did. I watched the game. They did very well. They defended head and tooth. They did very, very well. But then Liverpool also gave the game away. because they were very sluggish in the final third. You could see that their passes wasn't going through. Sorry, the team chemistry wasn't there. I mean, the final third. Especially Salah gave the ball away like 5, 6 times. And on a normal good day, Salah don't do that. You understand? So it was, I think maybe the international breakthrough did harm to those big clubs. Erling Haaland, I think he's on form and he's benefiting from the rest he got during the summer. Because remember, they didn't play in the
Mm.
European Championship.
So you want to tell me you can't make your submission without against?
I,
Well, it's cool.
Yeah, the Liverpool coach. I think he inherited a very good team, a team that was going somewhere. You understand? They were building the team to be that Liverpool that we used to know. So he doesn't have the space to fail. So I think there's a lot of pressure on him. He should do his homework well. That's what I wanted to say. As for we Manchester fans, we are praying that he fail. That's it.
Because he won against you guys. But then what we should do,
No, not
Manchester
really, not
United.
really. I just despise Liverpool. I don't like anything Liverpool and Manchester
I
City. I
understand
don't know why.
Liverpool and United, we all know. So if you don't like them, we understand
if you don't
because
like,
they always make United uncomfortable. Thank you very much, guys.
as simple as that. If you don't like them, score them.
That's
Now, unfortunately,
Score
we
them.
don't have the sort of players that we can match them boot to boot.
Are
You
you
understand?
serious?
But
Score
we'll
them.
do
are
our
you
best.
Alright,
We'll
serious?
so
do our
now
best. We are coming.
the
Give
first
us
leg.
give us two more.
Why? Why?
Now,
You see, Eddie is backing up. You see,
now
when it's like
listen.
when you are
Yeah,
speaking,
let's
when you
like
are
we are not
singing and
going.
someone is backing up.
We are not going to talk much. Now we've lost the first leg. We still have the second leg to play. Fingers
Okay.
are crossed. Let's write
Uh-huh.
today's date
Okay,
down. We are
Yeah.
going to come back in the
okay,
Yeah.
second leg. Mark
No
my
problem.
words.
okay. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your time. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video. And hey, your opinions are still welcome. And we're going to see you in the next video. Ciao.